Hey folks, Michael Spedden here, another episode of Fowl Players Radio, www.fowlplayersradio.com, or wherever you find podcasts online, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, you name it, you'll find us there. You'll also see us now on YouTube. If you're watching me right now, you'll know that I have a face for radio and we have a YouTube channel. So if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button. And be sure to share it with all of your friends. And also leave us a nice rating and a review. We would definitely appreciate it. Glenda Baker is our guest this week. She's a country music lyricist who combines her passion for poetry, music, and storytelling to create songs based on her life experiences, dreams, and prayers. Originally from Knoxville, Tennessee, Glenda was always captivated by the pool and excitement of Las Vegas, and at age 24, moved there to pursue her dreams of becoming a casino host. There, she spent years meeting people from all walks of life and hearing people's stories across various spectrums and seasons of life. Glenda started her songwriting career in 2020 while the world was trying to wait out the pandemic. And Glenda has now produced 7 songs, 2 of which are currently available on iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, and various other platforms. In addition to her songwriting career, Glenda is producing and directing a movie called Osiris that will be filming in the fall of 2022. The Fowl Players of Perryville will be on the Western Maryland Scenic Railroad on August 13th, September 10th, October 8th, and 29th. Tickets are available at www.fowlplayersofperryville.com or at www.wmsr.com. The Fowl Players of Perryville are going to be on Maryland Party Boat July 24th. Tickets are available at www.fowlplayersofperryville.com or marylandpartyboat.com. You can find Glenda's music at various places online. Her links to Amazon and all the other places are listed in the show notes, so make sure you check those out and go listen to some of her music. It's really good stuff. We'll be right back with Glenda Baker right after these words. Hello, folks. I'm here with Rebecca Jessup from the Havre de Grace Arts Collective. Rebecca, tell us about all the events that you have coming up for August.
We have a lot going on. The majority of them are going to be at the Opera House, which is in Havre de Grace, but here is the lowdown. So at the beginning on the first weekend in August 5th and 6th and 7th, we have something called the Havre de Grace Mosaic Project. And this is an immersive presentation in our black box where folks can come in, have images all around them, and it talks about the years in Havre de Grace from 1900 to 1925. And in the future, there'll be additional ones for additional decades. Also, we are celebrating our 5th anniversary in the first weekend. So on August the 6th, we will be having our Big Hair Birthday Bash with Eclipse, the Ultimate Journey Tribute Band. You don't want to miss that. That's going to be really big fun. And we're going to have throwback prices for wine and beer. On Friday, August 12th, we have the Eric Bird Trio. It's going a little bit different from Journey to the Eric Bird Trio, which is some jazz. You can sit back and just relax. And then, of course, for the kids on August the 13th, that's Saturday, we have stories, folktales, and fables for the young and young at heart. Here in the fire hall, which is one of the spaces we have here at the Opera House. We have the actual theater, we have the black box, and then we have the fire hall where we have some events. So that's definitely all family oriented for the stories, folktales, and fables. And then on August the 13th, same day in the evening, we have a rockin' band called Revolution Heroes. You can come here and rock the night away. So for something a little different, we have a week later on August the 20th, we have the Madam Mims Experience, tarot readings for everyone. So you can come, have your tarot cards read and see what's going to go on in your life. Everyone wants to know about that. The majority of our events are at the Opera House, but this event on August the 20th, which is also Saturday, we'll be having at the new Star Center, which is previously the Havre de Grace High School, which is now a beautiful, wonderful performing arts venue. We will be having David Clark's All About Joel, Billy Joel tribute. And we expect to have a really big crowd there. It's going to be wonderful. So sit back and relax and hear all your favorite Billy Joel songs. Here's something a little bit different too. On Sunday, August 21st, you can have body paint yoga. So it's a way to express yourself using yoga and then painting with your body. So you definitely want to check that out. August 27th, we have a wonderful magician. His name is Rand Shine. His real name is Randy Shine. And we will have a master class in magic followed by a magic show right afterwards. So that'll be fun for families and the kids. Though that will actually take us to the end of August. For folks wanting more information, this was a whole lot. You can find out more at www.hdgartscollective.org. Also, one thing I didn't mention is we have a great youth arts program, and all the programs are on the website. They are all free for children. It includes painting, all kinds of crafts, and that generally happens on Saturday mornings at 10. So that's what we have.
Wonderful, folks. Make sure you go check out all of these programs and all these shows that they have over there. They're really putting together some great things for us in the community. So thank you, Rebecca. And folks, make sure you go check it out.
Thank you.
Hello, this is John Piet.
Kevin Schmidt.
And Jerry Bozick.
And we're August, a little band from Virginia. You can hear our story, other stories from the legendary Baltimore, D.C. music scene, and much, much more with Michael Spedden on Fowl Players Radio. You can find it at www.fowlplayersradio.com, on YouTube, and wherever you find podcasts online. Keep rocking.
This is A.D. Adams, and you are tuned in to Fowl Players Radio with your host, Michael Spedden.
Yeah, hi, this is David Simmons from DC Star, and I am just encouraging all of you to tune in to Michael Spedden's show on Fowl Players Radio and love the rock and roll of the past and the art of the future.
Hi, this is Bud Becker, and you're listening to Fowl Players Radio.
Folks, welcome back to another episode of Fowl Players Radio. From the great state of Georgia, we have Glenda Baker, a songwriter who has come to visit us tonight and tell us about her new material that's been out on the airwaves and on the internet and everywhere else. So welcome, Glenda. It's good to have you today.
Thank you so much for having me, Michael. I appreciate it.
So you've been up to a whole bunch of stuff, and we were kind of talking a little bit before we started recording, and you've been involved in lots of different endeavors over the years, but you really got into songwriting, I believe, I guess, kind of during the pandemic, which was sort of a back to the drawing board period for a lot of people out there. People that had been writing music and couldn't go out and perform, people that have been, in theater or what have you. So you kind of have this, material coming out now. You're doing pretty well with it. So kind of tell us the story about how this kind of came about and how it's been working for you so far.
Sure, absolutely. Well, I had written poetry for a very long time, actually, ever since I was a little girl. And then one day I was talking to my son and we were looking at my poetry and I was thinking, these are all continuations of each other. I could take this poetry and turn it into a song. And he didn't believe that I could do that, but I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And I'm not only going to do that, I'm going to get it on the radio. It's going to be a hit. Mm-hmm. And he said, I don't believe it, Mom. And so I pieced it together and got with the studio in Nashville. And once it was completed, I was like, okay, now what am I going to do? I've got to do something with this. I've got to prove to him that I'm just not talking. Like, I want him to know that he can do anything he sets his mind to. So I started making phone calls and emailing. I was emailing agents, managers, radio stations, calling. And eventually I got an email from a radio station in Texas saying they liked my song and they wanted to test it on the radio. And then they called me and said, we love it. We would like to put it in rotation.
Oh, man, that's cool. That's cool. There's nothing more satisfying than hearing your material being played out being exposed to the public. That's I have some experience with that. I've been playing in bands. I was in hair bands back in the 80s, and early 90s, alternative bands, and did a CD. It didn't really go much of anywhere, but it did have kind of a cult following. But we did get some airplay on some local radio here, on the East Coast, and some college stations throughout the country. And it's very satisfying, isn't it?
It really is. I'd love to hear your stuff, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, you're a very brave person, but but yeah, and what's really kind of neat too is, I don't know if you've ever been out somewhere, like, or been around where, you can anonymously be there while it's playing or something, and you look around and see if people are reacting to it or not. You look at people's faces, or you look at or you look at them like, looking up at the speakers, they're outside eating and they're playing it over the thing or the PA, and people are like, what is that? Or they're like, hey, it's kind of like almost a moment of truth.
That's right. It makes you feel good though when you see them enjoying it. Absolutely.
It really does. It really does. Now, before you got into writing and things like that, you've been doing all kinds of things. Had you ever played in a band or, performed out in public before?
No, actually, this might sound strange to a lot of people, but when I hear other people's music, I hear my own words. I can be listening to, let's just say, Carrie Underwood, and she'll be playing in the background and I'm hearing my own words to whatever the music is. And that's how I write my poetry. Like, I literally sit down and write poetry. I'll write songs, and it's all from just hearing other people's music. It's so weird. I know it sounds crazy, probably.
Well, no, hey, it's that's your formula,
right? But
that's your formula. We all accomplish our end product through different paths. People all have different methods of doing things. People have ways that work for them. So that's kind of your just way of your being you and bringing to the table. That that's your method of bringing it to the table. So that's great. That's great. So you have this material out and everything. It's now where can people find it?
They can find it on Amazon, YouTube. You can also find it on Apple. See what else? Spotify, Deezer, a lot of various platforms.
Okay. Great. So it's out there, in the streaming and downloading services world.
Yes.
It's come a long way, hasn't it? I mean, I can remember years ago, whenever you had some material out, you kind of had to put it out yourself. Friends of mine, from playing music, we would go out and we would buy a whole big box of cassettes, and we would like hook together all these tape recorders. You would have like one master one and all these other ones hitting record, hit record, and dub them and get them out. Now, there was one friend of mine, and I won't go on about my stories because this show's really about you, but just to kind of give you an idea as to how things have changed. A band that we were friendly with, that my band used to play with quite a bit, they went out and they bought a bunch of used cassette tapes from a pastor who used to sell his sermons. And this was back in the 90s. He would, sell his sermons and mail them out to people on cassette. Well, he had all these cassettes with his sermons on them. So what they did is they bought the tapes, they labeled over top of them and recorded their music over top of the sermons. Okay. Problem was, on the second side, there was probably still about 10 minutes left of his sermons at the end after they stopped recording. So not only did everybody get their album, but they also got treated to about 10 minutes of a sermon. It's a wild industry, I gotta tell you. It is a wild industry. There's all kinds of stories and all kinds of things that can happen to you out there, especially playing clubs and stuff like that, and going on the road and everything. So, well, this is really great. You know, you've gotten this material out there and everything. Did you have any say? I mean, did you, when you know, got the material together, you said you went to a studio with it, a producer, did they pretty much handle it from that point on? I mean, did you have any say over the musicians that were playing on it or anything like that?
Yes, I chose the musician, as well as kind of told them what direction I want to go with the music, what kind of feel, like comparable to what type of artist.
Hmm.
And now I own all of the music rights. So basically I pay to have the master release.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
I own all the rights to all my music. So actually I just started my own publishing company called Spicy G Productions, where
There you go.
where I'm going to have, I have all 7 of my songs in under my publishing company.
Oh, good for you. You got to be smart with your money, and you got to be smart with the rights and everything. You know, so many people have gotten burned by that over the years, where you know, they had this great material out and they don't have any claim to it when it's all said and done. And that's good. You're being very smart about this. You know, making sure that you got all your I's dotted, your T's crossed, because you don't want to. You know, you turn your back for 1 second, somebody can kind of work their way in there and you end up with nothing. So very good. Kudos on that, you know.
Thank you.
Yep. Yep. So I know that you had mentioned that you've had some other, you know, creative projects over the years. What other kinds of things do you have your hands into?
Right now, I'm actually working on a feature film with Tina Marie Celine. She's going to be our executive producer.
Hmm.
And also Danielle Basutti, who you might know from Insidious 2.
Hmm.
She's going to be the lead actress, and it's actually a horror movie, a
Oh.
psychological thriller.
Hmm.
Looking forward to hopefully coming back on the show so I can talk to you a little bit more about that. Maybe I can bring the girls on the show with me as well.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I've had Tina on a few times to talk about different things. At least twice, I think I've had her on, just to, you know, we always have a good time. We were doing some improv acting back and forth and everything, and she's always a delight. She's always a delight, you know. So that's great. So yep. So you know, when did you really start getting into, you know, I mean, you know, kind of, and you'd mentioned, you know, about the songwriting, but you know, the other endeavors that you're into, when did you really kind of, was this something that had kind of always itched at you, you know, that you finally just decided to get into? Tell us a little bit about your background on that side, I guess.
For the music side or the film?
The film.
The film. Okay. Well, actually, from the age of 18, I was a model. I did that until my early 30s,
Okay.
as well as I kind of got into the side of acting as
Mhm.
well. So I was in a lot of commercials, movies, and things of that nature.
Oh, okay. Okay. What's some of the where would we see you? Where what are some of the titles you've been involved in or performed in?
Okay, so I was in the Super Bowl with Flavor Flav, and
He's a piece of work, isn't he?
He's hilarious. I remember the first time I met him, he had all these clocks hanging around his neck. He was actually really nice.
Mhm,
He was
yeah.
very nice. And
Mhm.
let's see, and I also was in a feature film called Solid Cover,
Mhm.
where I was one of the girls in the bar who got in a fight with her boyfriend and he hit me.
Oh.
That was an interesting role. And I was also a Labatt's girl in a Labatt commercial.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was pretty big. It actually took off in Canada. It did really well.
Hmm. Yeah, Labatt's is big up there. I think that's a Canadian beer, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
It
And that,
is. It
yep.
is. And I'm also in a Tragically Hip music video. I've done a lot of work with like music videos as well.
Hmm. Yeah. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah. There's nothing, I love being on set, you know. I really enjoy being on set. You know, I like the whole creative process and watching not only the people that I'm acting with and everything, but also just watching the production crews, all the things that they do to make the commercial happen or the film or whatever it is, I mean, I guess, you kind of learn after a while. Sometimes there's a lot of, hurry up and wait and, hurry up and wait, or you end up standing around a lot of times while they're changing sets or setting things up for you and everything. But in the end, it all ends up being worth it. I've enjoyed all my experiences and everything. Have you had anything disastrous happen? I ask sometimes when I have bands on, I kind of ask if they've ever had any Spinal Tap moments or anything that's anything memorable like that, in what you've done.
In the film industry, probably not. In the music industry, however, I was doing one of my last songs, and I kind of wanted to do something different with it. And I went a direction with it. I kind of was trying to go like a Dierks Bentley kind of vibe with a theme voice, and it didn't really turn out the way that I'd hoped. So that kind of made me laugh. Maybe I spent too much time at the Dierks Bentley concert like the week before or something. Maybe that's why it turned out like that. But
yeah. That's funny. Yeah, that's funny. There's all kinds of things, that I've had lots of experiences, being on the road and playing in different places and everything. I mean, it's never a dull moment when you're out there performing like that. That's for sure. That's for sure. So let's see here. You had mentioned a couple of commercials that you've been in and music videos. Any particular artists or anything? You'd mentioned a little bit about it.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you've heard of the Tragically Hip. They're a huge Canadian. I spent some time in Canada.
Oh, okay.
Did a lot of work in Canada because I was an American. They kind of tended to hire me a little bit more because a lot of American film crews would go to Canada.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I was American, I kind of got a little bit more, I want to say priority sometimes over people who, had a little bit more stronger accent perhaps. So, yeah, so that worked well for me when I was living up there. I think I was up there for a few years.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. And what was it like living up there? I mean, I think a lot of Americans get this idea that the minute you cross the Canadian border, you're like in Antarctica or something. It's like, all of a sudden you cross over and like the snow's just blowing and hitting you in the face. And it's just it's really not that different, is it?
It's not. I mean, the people are the same. They're all lovely. It's just the weather is pretty horrible. I lived in Toronto, right outside of Toronto, and
sure.
Ontario on the water, Lake Ontario, and the winter was horrible. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah,
terrible.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is too. I mean, that's I think Toronto's like a little bit south of like Michigan, really. But
it is.
It's when you get up that way, winter is like no joke, because you're kind of like in the same latitude as like Michigan and Minnesota and Buffalo, New York, and there's just those are the places they go to film the cold and flu medicine commercials, because
I know what you mean.
Because it's absolutely brutal up there in the wintertime. So many people I know have moved from that area to here, because I'm in Maryland, where where I am, it's like if you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes, because it'll be completely different. It's like I mean, this past spring, I think we've had it 1 week. We had it in the 50s and the 90s in the same week. It's just no rhyme or reason to it and everything. And yeah, I can't explain that. I don't know. It's just the way I'm used to it, because I've lived here my whole life.
Yeah, you get used to it. You definitely get traumatized for sure.
Right, right.
I was ready to move back to the South, though. I couldn't handle the weather.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sure, sure. Well, I think where you are, it's a lot more consistent on a regular basis too, isn't it?
It is, and we get the 4 seasons. I like being out here. I mean, I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee originally, so
sure.
I enjoy being near having the 4 seasons and being close to my hometown.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, yeah. Now you had mentioned some other modeling. Did you ever do like print or anything like that, or print ads or billboards or anything, magazines? Like
I was a Joe Boxer fitting model for a while. It sounds funny now, but yeah, I
mhm.
did that for a while. I also did a lot of runway shows.
Oh, sure, sure. Like would like a designer would hire you to come out and show off like new clothes that they were designing, and you'd just walk up
Yeah,
and down and let people see you in them and everything. That must have been pretty neat. Now, where did you do that? Were you going around the world or around the country doing it?
I did it in Toronto,
Okay.
Canada. Let's see, so New York, Las
Mhm.
Vegas, but I primarily stayed in the States except for Canada.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I know up in New York, I think around February every year, I think they have like this huge, that's like a huge, it's like fashion week or something like that, where a lot of that stuff's going on. Was that the kind of thing you were doing?
Yes, I was in fact, I was in Toronto's Fashion Week.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I was up
I,
there um a couple of years ago for that. Now, I didn't go up for that. I was up there to audition, and I had to go to, the casting office, and yeah, my God, it was mobbed up there. I mean, it was like crazy with all the people up there for Fashion Week. You see all these people walking around that are involved. You can kind of tell,
right.
because they're the ones wearing all the wild clothes and everything, and that just wear them in everyday life. I mean, I, I I would think that some of the things that they have in these shows, some of them are just meant to be pieces of art, right? They're not meant for like people to wear every day.
Most of them aren't. No, I remember some of the things that I actually modeled. I would have probably never worn out. Just being honest. And then one of the designers would actually give you their clothes, but
Oh,
most of them I wouldn't wear out. So
right, right. Yeah, some of this stuff I'm looking at, I'm like, what the hell? I mean,
it depended on the designer. Like some of the designers, some of their stuff were more like business
mhm.
attire.
Sure, sure, sure.
Just depends on who you're modeling for. But I enjoyed doing it. I got to meet a lot of great people, a
Hmm.
lot of celebrities. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I can kind of see what you mean, what you're saying there. Then so on one runway you've got the 2023 men's suits, and then guys walking out and doing that. And then this one you've got, good Lord, what the hell? What am I looking at? I mean, see,
That
and I just see, I don't follow that kind of thing, but I just see snippets on the news once in a while, and I'm like, what am I looking at?
some
Jeez,
of
it
it's
whiz.
really out there for sure. I can
Mhm.
understand that definitely.
But I bet that's an experience though too. I mean, it seems to be a pretty tight knit community, and you get to know a lot of neat people doing that, huh?
It is, and like once you're kind of in that circle and you're auditioning or going to casting calls for even like the film industry, you start to
Sure.
go up you go up against the same girls basically. I
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
for me, I was kind of typecast in a certain role and basically saw the same girls every time I would go to audition. So
Mhm. Yeah. That's happened with me too. I do most of my auditions now are over Zoom, or over
oh, really?
either over Zoom or they're recorded at home and sent
Mhm.
in. That's been kind of the change in the industry since COVID. I mean, before that, I was having
Mhm.
to commute to New York a couple times a month, or Philly. Philly's only like an hour away from where I live, but New York is probably about 3 or 4. Not too bad, not too bad, but it's a lot cheaper to do it from home. It's
Exactly. I was going to say you must be enjoying this right now.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, it seems you get more of them, and but you're not having to go up quite as much, and
Right.
yeah. And plus the thing is too, to be perfectly honest, going up there, kind of had sort of some of its drawbacks. I mean, some of the best showbiz advice I ever got, and I've been doing this for years. The best showbiz advice I ever got: don't quit your day job, and I haven't. you know, so going up there with me, I'd have to use a day off of work to go up, which didn't really matter. I had plenty of time, but yeah, I mean, this way I don't have to do that, and you can, quicker turnaround time. My wife and I built a video booth and an audio booth in our garage, that we can use for auditions and everything. And, do you ever do voice or anything?
I never did the voice. No.
Yeah.
No.
Those are fun. Those jobs are fun. You get those from time to time, mostly narration. You get the kind, sometimes what you get, especially being close to Philly, because Philly is like the instructional video capital of the Northeast. You go there and you get like instructional films for school, instructional films for medicines, films that get sent out that are kind of that tell people about doctors about new pharmaceuticals that are coming out. So you go up there in the booth, they give you some copy. Like the diseases are all like 48 letters long. The medicines are all like 40 letters long. They tell you how to pronounce it. You do it a few times. They're happy. And then I'm like, I have no idea what I just said, but thank you very much. See you next time, but
Great.
but that's pretty, that is, that is a lot of fun when you can get that work, so, now, so you have, you're currently working on a feature film right now. And, is there any more you can reveal about it? Are you still more in the larval stages right now, getting things together, like the organizational level, or are you, do you have any more you can share, or are you still kind of under wraps with it?
Yes, it's very under wraps right now. We're still in the pre-stage, so unfortunately I can't tell you any more at this point, but hopefully we'll be able to come back in a month or two and be able to share some stuff with you.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that'd be great. I'd love that, for you to come on and everything here. So tell me a little bit more. I've heard, some of the songs that you've sent. You sent me a video, to look at. It was some of your material. So you said you have 7 of them out right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about each. You want to tell us a little bit about each song that you have released?
Sure. Let's see. I have all of my songs are currently country. I'm working on a pop song.
Okay.
As well as a hip hop song. I want to kind of expand my horizons a little bit and do something a little bit different. But I do enjoy writing country. That's really my forte. My first 2 songs were 88 Proof, which I believe that was one of them you probably listened to, and A Little Alcohol and Ice Cream.
Yep.
And those, those are the ones that are available on iTunes and Spotify and YouTube that you can listen to. My other 5 are kind of hush hush right now because we are currently working on trying to get a bigger artist to record them. So as you probably know, you don't really want to air those. I could be trying to release them on my own right now, but what I'm trying to do is get someone else to take them and sing them, like a Carrie Underwood or Morgan Wallen. That's my hopes. That's what we're working on. So if I release them, it's a lot harder to get a big artist like that to take them.
Yeah, I understand that, because they don't want it to look like, I guess, that person's doing a cover of something else.
Yeah.
They want to look like they were the first ones to release it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I was just, and I understand how that works too. I was just actually reading a biography of a songwriter by the name Stephen Bishop, who has had hit songs. Not only did he release and have his own hit songs and hit records, but a lot of other people like Eric Clapton and Phil Collins and Art Garfunkel and Barbara Streisand and Beyonce have all released his songs and everything too. And also too, I'm a fan of like people like Paul Williams. I mean, if you remember him, I mean, good Lord, you might be too young to remember, but I remember growing up in the 70s. I mean, that guy was all over the place.
Yeah.
And did he have, other people singing his songs? He was out doing them as well. And I mean, you go to a concert and it's like, you hear all these songs that he had written, or, you watch him on, any concert of his, and it's like, oh yeah, there's the Carpenters, Three Dog Night, the Muppets, all these songs that he had, others had performed and everything that were all his, but it's great to have a big library like that, and that you're, being able to get out there, it's good that you're able to kind of come in at an upper level as well, with this,
That's why I decided to open my own company, because
Yeah.
right now what I'm working on is creating a website.
Mhm.
So I can actually put all my music on there for sale.
Sure.
And that is in the works right now.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. So, right, yeah, getting it out there that way as well. Having that to, for people to kind of look at and everything and hear it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can kind of, remember what it was like trying to do this from the grassroots level up. I mean, it looks like you've kind of were able to get in at a little bit of a higher level, which is a great thing, because believe me, one thing I've learned about, playing music over the years is you got to pound the hell out of the pavement on an ongoing basis. I mean,
You
even,
do.
the level that you're at now too, but I mean, when you're just a band starting out and trying to get gigs, trying to get this, that, and the other thing. I mean, it is a lot of work,
A lot of work. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Just trying to get yourself in front of the right person to hear your music and listen. You got to make the calls. You got to get out and meet people. You just have to have the mindset that you're not going to give up. You just have to keep after it.
What allowed you to kind of get your foot in the door doing this?
Well, actually, me getting my song on the radio was like the first step. And I mean, I spent months and months, and a lot of people say, well, that's not really a lot for most people, but it felt like it at the time, I guess. But I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to do this myself, and I'm going to get out there, put my music in front of people. And now people are actually starting to approach me and tell me that they really like my stuff, which is huge. So I'm actually working with a few people right now that I'm talking to, who are interested in possibly taking me on to write for them. However, I'm just kind of looking at my options right now.
Sure. I mean, yeah, wow. Yeah, just thinking back, just, some of the guests that I've had, talking about their journeys in songwriting and things like that. It really is fascinating. The way it's changed over the years, and the way you get things out nowadays. I mean, electronic media and the internet has really turned the industry on its ear, I think.
Yeah.
In lots of ways, I mean, I'm not sure when you were growing up, but I mean, I can remember just, how things were so different. I mean, I really started following music when I was a kid back in the 70s. And it seems like back then, I mean, I don't know if you agree or not, but, buying an album was really an experience.
Yes.
I mean,
It
you
was.
would, especially if you got a double album, you go out because you could open those up. Sometimes there was the booklet with it. There was all the liner notes you could read while you were listening to it. I mean, do you remember I don't know if you remember those days or not, but
I do.
yeah. And nowadays it's just like, oh, it's on my phone. Boom, there we go.
See it now. It's so different.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
I
even
miss the
go
days,
ahead.
though. I don't know. I love back in the days where you had the records. I still have all my records from when I was a kid.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
What will we find in your record collection if we were looking through it?
You would find a lot of Elvis in my record
Oh,
collection. I'm a big Elvis Presley fan.
oh, cool.
Yeah. You would find a lot of that in my record collection.
Mhm.
Some Eagles.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm really passionate about my music. Like, I'm hoping that I can get it out there, and if it can like touch somebody, that's really what my music's all about. I write just from my heart, and everything that I do is something that usually is an experience that I've experienced or something that I feel at the moment.
Sure, sure. Yeah. Oh, exactly, exactly. Straight from the heart, based on things that you've gone through and everything. Absolutely, absolutely. I get that, because I've written a lot of songs like that myself. Most of mine have kind of a juvenile sense of humor with it, and thanks to me. But my juvenile sense of humor, and some of them are really disgusting. But that's what I put out. That's what I put out, but yeah, to each their own, we all, we all walk different paths on this earth, I suppose, huh?
That's right.
Yep. So, well, that's Elvis, the Eagles, um, more country heavy, more rock and roll heavy.
I'm probably more country. I lean more to country, and now I'm really into all of the new country.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of my music now. I pretty much only listen to country music, probably specifically because that's what I'm writing. So I kind of like immerse myself in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I have been listening to a little bit more hip hop and pop just because I'm trying to write some different kind of music. But I'm also trying to write right now a gospel song.
Sure.
I wrote a song about my brother who passed away. And I have someone who reached out to me on actually Facebook. He saw it and he said, I think I can take that. It was literally a poem about my brother. And then I was like, I can turn this into a song. And he saw it and he was like, I think I can take that and put it to music for you. Would you be okay with that? And I was like, sure, why not? And he's actually working on it right now. It was just so nice of him because he saw that I had posted that the other day when I was thinking about my brother. I just was kind of emotional. And I thought, you know what? I just want to honor him. So I put it up on there. And when he saw that, he reached out to me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's I'm very sorry to hear that. Very sorry to hear that, you lost your brother like that. It's just a shame, life is short,
It is. It really is.
Yeah. That's a real shame,
Gotta enjoy every day.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you were telling me about your son, how you were, writing this material here, and he was like kind of Mr. Doubting Thomas there along the way, huh? You're not going to get anything with that.
Right.
I was thinking about buying some lottery tickets tonight. Do you think you could put some of the, you're never going to win?
Right. You want me to call him? Maybe he can talk to you.
Yeah. Have him say, don't waste your time buying lottery tickets tonight. Mega Millions, you'll never get that,
I work like that for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good. Well, it's good that, you're able to do this, and share it with, friends and family and everything too here. Has your, what does your family and friends think of all this?
They're really excited for me. They see some big things happening with my music and the film, and they're very, very excited. My son, he said, I can't believe, Mom, you were able to do that. So it was good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what he told me, I'm going to be a professional basketball player, Mom. And I was like, you know what? I think you are.
Yep. No, he'll never be a professional basketball player. Hell no, not even a chance. There he goes.
Might be.
Yeah. How tall is he?
Let's see. He's 14 and he's almost 5'11".
Oh, yeah. He'll probably, he's got a little ways to go yet, I think. So yeah. He'll have some good height, no doubt there. No doubt there,
Yeah. Well, you can be anything you want to be.
Yep. So does he do anything as far as, the arts or music or anything like that too? Or is he pretty much a sports guy?
He actually played the piano from the time he was 3 until he was 9. And then he wasn't interested anymore. He actually played the guitar for a few years as well. I'm hoping he'll get back into it, but he kind of just got into sports and has been into sports.
Well, that's good. Hey, those are all good activities. They all require discipline. They're good for your body and your mind. Hey, you can't leave kids idle. That's when they start getting
That's
into
right.
trouble, so as long as they're up to something wholesome and good, you're on the right track. Definitely. Well, great. Well, look, I appreciate you coming on to talk to us today here. Again, congratulations on the success you've had so far. It's definitely, great to hear. Would you like to maybe, this is kind of the time of the show where I call it the shameless plug time, where you can shamelessly plug anything you'd like to shamelessly plug with no shamelessness spared and all shamelessness included. So you can go ahead and have at it.
Sure. I would love if you guys would download my song 88 Proof and a Little Alcohol and Ice Cream on iTunes. That would be great.
Okay. And it's on iTunes and under your name.
Actually, 88 Proof is under Travis Beamer.
Okay.
And a Little Alcohol and Ice Cream is Shayna McIntyre.
Shayna McIntyre. Okay. Great. That's a rough combination right there. I guess that's probably what the song's about, huh?
Just wait till you hear a little. You haven't heard a Little Alcohol and Ice Cream yet, have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just kind of, but I'm just talking in real life, boy. I've done that before and like, boy, was that a mistake, but your song's not a mistake. It's a good song. It really is good material, and I appreciate you, sharing it with me. And please, guys, go out and check out Glenda Baker, this material that's out right now. And more is going to be coming, Glenda, please feel free to come back and see us whenever you've got something to tell us, whenever you got some good news, some new material, anything. Our door is always open to you. We appreciate you coming by and sharing what you did today. And folks, you've been listening to Glenda Baker here on Fowl Players Radio. Thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Well, folks, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed our episode with Glenda Baker. And if you look in the show notes, both on YouTube and anywhere that you get the audio version of our podcast, you can see the links to where you can get her music and get a chance to hear it online. Next week's guest is going to be Paul Castiglia. I had a great time talking with him about a lot of different things he's done over the years. He's, amongst other things that he does, he's a writer. He's written for Archie Comics. He's written for Looney Tunes comics. He has written for the Archie Weird Mysteries and has written for Cracked Magazine. Also has a blog called The Scared Silly by Paul Castiglia blog on blogspot.com. So make sure you check those things out. I really had a great time talking with him about, what we talk about on Fowl Players Radio, arts, entertainment, and pop culture. So make sure you tune in next week for Paul Castiglia, and we will see you next time. This is Michael Spedden on Fowl Players Radio, www.fowlplayersradio.com.